There were some big announcements made today at CES 2022 for both AMD as well as Nvidia. Now, I wasn't really planning on making this video, but a lot of this does impact the PC gaming community, and considering how I'm a PC gaming channel, I figured I would talk about it. I'm rushing to get this video done, so I do apologize if this video is not quite as polished as all my other videos, but hey, for all the people in my DMs complaining that I don't upload enough, here you go, a new video just a few days after my last video. Let's hop into it. Let's talk about these announcements. There is a lot to talk about. Now, AMD absolutely killed it today. They talked a lot about gaming. They really focused on the gamer and the gaming experience, whereas Nvidia did announce some new gaming related items, but they also talked a lot about things that had nothing to do with gaming whatsoever. It kind of made me feel like they're a little bit out of touch with the gaming community and really what gamers want right now. I'm getting some serious 2013 Xbox One presentation vibes from Nvidia, and I'm not really sure that that's a good thing. So starting things off with AMD. Now, one of the things that really stood out to me was their brand new 6800 APU. Now, for those of you who may not know, an APU is basically a CPU with graphics built into it. So it's not as powerful as a dedicated or discrete graphics card, but it's a CPU that can basically bring you graphics performance, and typically this doesn't really allow for high refresh rate gaming, but in this case, you may be surprised. Their 6800 APU allows for 1080p 60 FPS gaming, and this is being achieved by AMD's FSR upscaling technology. They demonstrated how you can play Far Cry 6 on medium settings and still achieve 1080p 60, which is absolutely insane considering how all of this is being done by a CPU alone. Now, for those of you who may not want to do all of your gaming on a laptop on an APU, don't you worry, because AMD did go on to announce a brand new 6000 S series discrete GPU for their 6000 series laptops. This series will focus on thin and light gaming laptops. AMD continues to improve their M series laptops, bringing you faster memory and faster game clocks with the 6000 M series. This series will be built on a 6nm process, and it's going to be technology that is designed for low power gaming. Now, if you're not a laptop gamer, don't worry, because AMD has something for you too. On the desktop side of things, they announced a brand new dedicated GPU called the 6500 XT. This will release for $199 on January 19th. January 19th is my birthday, by the way, so if you're watching this on launch day, can I get a birthday like or sub? Maybe both? Now, the 6500 XT is made for the gamer that is on the GTX 1650 or the RX 570. So if you're on one of those two GPUs, this is now the perfect time to upgrade. You're gonna get way more performance, and it's not gonna break the bank at only coming in at $199. Now, of course, that is assuming you can actually get your hands on one. We're still in a worldwide silicon shortage. The target of the 6500 XT is to allow you to play AAA titles at 1080p and achieve 60 FPS or higher on high settings using AMD's FSR technology. Now, from there, AMD went on to talk about their Adrenalin software and all the new features that they're bringing. One of the new features is going to be AMD Link, which has to do with playing with your friends and streaming and things of that nature. They also talked about AMD Privacy View, which is supposed to help protect your screen from unwanted eyes. But the main feature they wanted to point out is how they're taking their FSR technology, integrating it into their Adrenalin software, and they are now calling it Radeon Super Resolution, or RSR. And now, thanks to FSR as the foundation, you can now apply RSR to almost any game through the Adrenalin software. This is now going to give you way more performance in almost any game that you play on the AMD platform. Honestly, this is a pretty big deal, because even though this feature can be applied to basically any level of Radeon GPU, it's really a step forward for the budget level gamer. If you buy the 6500 XT for only $200, you can use this type of technology and upscale your games and get way better performance in recent AAA titles that are honestly pretty demanding. So again, this is a pretty big deal. All of these updates to Adrenalin software are expected to arrive before the end of Q1 2022. Lastly, AMD announced the new CPU, the Ryzen 5800X 3D. This CPU will have 8 cores and 16 threads with a boost clock of up to 4.5 gigahertz. It will have 64 megabytes of 3D cache and 32 megabytes of 2D cache. This new CPU will work with all existing AM4 motherboards. AMD is claiming the 5800X 3D is about 15% faster than the 5900X. We don't know anything about the pricing, but the CPU is expected to to launch sometime this spring. Now, the reason why the 5800X 3D is a big deal is because it's gonna allow AMD to once again be the king of the gaming CPU. AMD showed some charts comparing the 5800X 3D to the Intel 12900K, and in most cases, the 5800X 3D seems to be the clear winner. Looking at these charts, it does appear that AMD is once again the fastest gaming CPU in the world. Lastly, AMD confirmed that the 7000 series CPUs, or Zen 4, will arrive later this year in 2022. AMD gave us a brief look at Halo Infinite running on one of these new Ryzen 7000 series CPUs, and while we couldn't see any actual benchmarks or frame rates on the screen or anything like that, they did confirm that all cores were locked at 5 GHz. They went on to confirm that the 7000 series CPUs will now work on a brand new motherboard chipset called AM5, and this new motherboard chipset will allow you to use DDR5 memory as well as PCIe Gen 5 technology. As you can see, AMD had a lot of things to announce and it was all very gamer focused, and for the most part I'm pretty happy with what we heard. I love to see all these new technologies come into the market. I love how they're trying to bring the budget gaming industry back up to where it used to be, and I also like that they confirmed what's coming down the road. So if you don't want to upgrade right now and you want to wait, you know what you're waiting for. What exactly are you looking forward to the most from AMD? Now let's move on to NVIDIA. NVIDIA started off the same way AMD did, and they wanted to talk about brand new laptops. They confirmed a new laptop model with a 3070 Ti starting at $1499, and then another new laptop model with a 3080 Ti starting at $2499. They also confirmed that 2022 will bring in a total of 160 new laptop models. NVIDIA claims the 3080 Ti model will be 7% faster on average in 3D rendering when compared to Apple's latest MacBook Pro 16 M1 Max. Also, like AMD, NVIDIA went on to announce a brand new GPU called the RTX 3050, which will launch on January the 27th at a retail price of $249. That's assuming you can actually get your hands on this GPU. And if you can get your hands on it, you're probably not going to get it for the MSRP of $249. And it's even worse because it's an NVIDIA GPU and everyone wants an NVIDIA GPU for mining, scalping, you name it. From there, NVIDIA went on to talk about all the new games that are going to get either ray tracing and or DLSS support, but there were two games that really stood out to me. So the first game is The Day Before, and that's mostly because this announcement confirmed the actual release date of the game, and I've kind of been scratching my head for a while now wondering when the official release of this game is going to be. June 21st for those who are wondering. The second game that really stood out to me was Escape from Tarkov, and the reason why is because NVIDIA confirmed that this game will now have DLSS support. And honestly, if you've played Escape from Tarkov, then you can understand just exactly how demanding that game can be. So DLSS will definitely be a breath of fresh air for that title. NVIDIA went on to confirm brand new PC monitors that they are calling esports displays. And basically they are 1440p monitors with super high refresh rates all the way up to 360 frames per second. Apparently the display will be 27 inches, but it will also be able to dynamically change into a 25-inch display to support 1080p gaming for any user who may want that. Now, there are more monitors that I was able to find in NVIDIA's recap that they sent out after the presentation that they didn't really talk about within the presentation. NVIDIA went on to confirm monitors that will have IPS technology, mini LED technology, and even OLED technology. Now, I gotta be honest, I'm a big fan of OLED technology, so when I saw that Alienware is bringing a PC monitor with quantum dot OLED technology to the market, I was absolutely floored. But then I expected the OLED technology to only work with 4K resolutions, but no, they're actually doing it with a 1440p resolution, which I'm very shocked to see. The display will support up to 175 frames per second. However, there's a pretty big downside. It is a 34-inch monitor. 1440p at 34 inches, it's not gonna look as clear as it would at 27 inches, for example. So I kind of think they missed the mark by not going with 4K. I fully expect this monitor to be radically overpriced for what it is, and it's probably gonna be outside the realm for most gamers. But hey, Alienware, if you want to send me a review unit, I'll happily review it. NVIDIA also went on to talk about a few different adjustments in their reflex technology and a couple of different games like God of War that's coming to PC later this month. And apparently if you're an AT&T member, you can now get 6 months free of GeForce Now, which That's kind of cool. I'm an AT&T member. But of course, the big thing that I know every YouTuber is going to talk about and try to clickbait their titles with and things of that nature is the RTX 3090 Ti. There's nothing really to talk about here. He held it up and said, "We have an RTX 3090 Ti. Stay tuned later this month for more information." Cool. Now, to be fair, it doesn't really matter even if they did give us more information, because we all know two things, right? We know, number one, the base MSRP is likely going to be around $2,000. And number two, you're not going to be able to buy it. It's going to be scalped. It's going to be botted. Every crypto miner on the planet is going to go right for it. It's going to be on eBay and Facebook Marketplace for double or even triple the price. It does nothing for you as an actual PC gamer. I guess it's cool to talk about. It's cool to see, but it doesn't really help you at all. This is why I think NVIDIA really kind of dropped the ball with this presentation. Number one, I gave you all the gaming stuff in this video, but when you're actually watching the presentation, it was basically gaming announcement, absolutely nothing to do with gaming. Gaming announcement, nothing to do with gaming. It was kind of like the presentation didn't really know what it needed to be, and NVIDIA wasn't really sure who they wanted to focus on. They spent a lot of time talking about things that have absolutely nothing to do with gaming. They talked about their NVIDIA Studio and the Omniverse. They also talked about autonomous driving. I think autonomous driving is the future, and I'm a huge fan of that. I also appreciate 3D artists and all the work they do, because we need them for our industry. And of course, they need excellent tools to allow them to continue to do their job and take their skills to the next level. I support all of these things. However, I found myself going in and out of the conference and really just kind of losing interest. It's not that NVIDIA did terrible, because if you actually look at their recap, there are a lot of cool things that they're bringing to the market that are very positive for gamers. But for all of my AMD information, I was able to get that from simply watching the presentation and taking notes. NVIDIA not only bored me, but there was a lot of information they didn't even talk about in their presentation. I had to go to their website, read the recap, and take notes from there to really give you all of this. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say NVIDIA is out of touch with gamers. They're announcing new high-end GPUs like the 3090 Ti when they can't even keep in stock the 3090s they already have. Not to mention the 3080s, the 3070s, so on and so forth. The only reason why I'm not throwing shade at them for the 3050 is because it is at least a lower end GPU. It is something that is opening the market for that entry level PC gaming point. And we need more things like that. We need a rise in budget level PC gaming once again. So I give massive props to both AMD and NVIDIA for at least attempting to bring back the budget entry level PC gaming market. Overall, I truly am happy with announcements from both AMD and NVIDIA, but I think when you look at their presentations, AMD did a better job at communicating their message, staying on point, being consistent, and focusing on one target audience, which in this case is you, the PC gamer. So I have to give AMD the win here for their presentation. Not that it overly matters, after all, it's just my opinion, but it's kind of like E3 every year. Who won E3? Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation. It's the same thing here. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. It goes a long way in helping me out. If you're new here, subscribe and become part of the eRock on Deck family. We would love to have you. Let me know in the comments below, which one of these announcements are you most excited about? I look forward to talking with you down below. And until next time, eRock out.